Food and Drug Administration is now halting the distribution of a gene therapy drug after its potential link to the deaths of at least 3 people, the most recent being an 8-year-old boy in Brazil who officials say was receiving treatment for a muscular disorder but wasn't enrolled in an active clinical trial. The FDA citing the deaths appeared to have been a result of acute liver failure in individuals treated with Sarepta Therapeutics' Elevidys. Now, for the Small family here in the Chicago area, the clinical trial gave their son a chance to be a regular kid. The family found out several years ago that 2 of their 3 boys, Hunter and Noah, had Duchenne muscular dystrophy. But in March, Noah was able to begin Elevidys, and after 3 months of close monitoring and no complications, the family says Noah is now able to swim. He can ride a bike. The family is now concerned that pausing the gene therapy, what could that do to their son's progress and other families navigating the same journey? Alison and William Small join us now. Their personal connection to DMD sparked the Small Heroes Foundation. Alison, William, thank you so much for taking the time this morning. Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
I mean, our children are our entire worlds. I imagine the initial diagnoses for your sons just knocked the breath out of you. Tell us more about Duchenne's and also how you even found out that 2 of your boys had this to begin with.
Sure. Duchenne muscular dystrophy affects 1 out of 3,500 boys. Our diagnosis came as a complete shock to us back in 2017. And it is a genetic disorder. So when we determined that 1 of our boys had it, the other 2 also had to be tested. And unfortunately, 2 of the 3 of our boys do have muscular dystrophy. It's a progressive disease. It affects their physical capabilities. Most boys with Duchenne end up in a wheelchair around age 12 and lose their life in their 20s.
I just can't imagine. And you found hope, right, through this clinical trial, through Elevidys. Tell us more. You know, obviously, I just mentioned that's been put on pause, but tell us about the success that you saw with your youngest son. And your oldest was slated to start this in the fall.
Correct. Yes. Our younger of the 2 sons received Elevidys in March of 2025. And he's done fantastic. He is swimming for the first time. He's riding a bike. His overall energy levels are so much higher. No complaining of leg pain and weakness like he typically would, every evening. So we were so excited and thrilled to be able to give it to his older brother in the upcoming weeks. And this pause now is heartbreaking for us, that he potentially will not be able to receive the same treatment as his brother.
And William, tell us more about, because, the family's decision to go through with this clinical trial, despite the risks and complications that you were told about. Talk to me about deciding to go through with that treatment, despite the heads up.
Yeah, the decision to move forward with treatment is a very serious, decision. We know the complications going in. We had very serious conversations with our team of doctors in Little Rock, Arkansas, but we also know the natural progression of the disease, the loss of ambulation, the loss of use of upper extremity, and the early death. So we were willing to take that risk and have our sons dosed with this drug.
And then just, 4 months later, after your youngest started it, the rug gets pulled out from under you and other families going through this with the FDA saying that they're going to put a pause on this. What does your fight look like now, and what's your plea to the FDA?
Yeah, well, obviously it was devastating. It was a bit frustrating. And now we're at the point in time where how do we move forward to look at what is the plan to get this back on the market and to dose our other son. So whether it's through the administration or working with the FDA, what we're looking for is some clarity and transparency in talking to especially the DMD community and families to understand where we believe the risks are, why we believe this drug is worth fighting for and worth dosing to our son and the sons of other people in the community. So really we're looking for the administration or the FDA or the community at large to work together to come up with what is the path forward so we can dose our son.
And tell me more, is Duchenne something that couples can get tested for before trying to have kids? I know in my family, you know, cystic fibrosis runs in my family. I'm a carrier for it, so my husband got tested before we even tried to have children. Is that something that couples, you know, can test for and should specifically be asking their providers to look for in them?
Because it is a rare disease, it's not typically and routinely screened for, but it is absolutely something that can be screened for before you have children. It's passed down from a mother to her son. So I'm a carrier. I was unknowingly a carrier. This was nowhere else in my family, but this could definitely be tested for before you decide to have children. Okay, really good to know for other families and couples out there. You live in the Chicago area. You found a community of other families who are going through this same journey. How much hope has that given you? And what would your advice be to other families who are kind of at the starting line of, you know, getting a diagnosis, starting this process, and for so many people who don't even know where to turn next? What do you tell them? There is a wonderful community of parents. Unfortunately, fortunately, we go to Parent Project Muscular Dystrophy to get a lot of our information, and anybody that's starting this journey, there is so much hope, even with the pause of Elevidys. You know, we're really hopeful that this is going to get back on the market and the opportunity for more boys to be treated will be out there. But there are a lot of people and a lot of resources that parents that are newly diagnosed can reach out to.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.